Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Relatively quick update, and then we will get to any questions that are there. Obviously, we continue to see tremendous progress across the board with us basically hitting 70% of all eligible being vaccinated. This continues again to pretty significantly outpace the state of California as a whole. We did also surpass 55% of eligible San Diegans who are fully vaccinated, and so we are encouraged by the progress that we're making and what we were seeing, particularly as we approach almost 2 million San Diegans being fully vaccinated and approach almost 4 million doses total having been given throughout the county. And our efforts around that will continue. We're also seeing a pretty remarkable decline in the number of cases. We've all been struck by the days with the relatively low numbers, but those days have strung together in a way that has our adjusted case rate for this week descending into the yellow tier at 1.7%, or 1.7, excuse me, which again puts us in the yellow tier. Now we would need 2 consecutive weeks in the yellow tier to descend tiers. So it is possible, we won't know until next week, but it is possible that when numbers come out on Tuesday of next week, if we have 2 consecutive weeks in the yellow tier, then we would enter the yellow tier next Wednesday, which would give us 1 week of yellow tier before we hit June 15th, which is the retiring of all of the tiers. And so it is possible we could see some increased capacity in gyms and bars and other types of things. We'll walk through a slide in a few minutes with some of that information. Our unadjusted case rate was again in orange, but the adjusted case rate, because of the testing factor, had us in yellow, and so we will monitor that and let you know next week if that does occur. We're also making a strong push in the month of June on our mobile sites. We already have more than 100 mobile vaccine events that are planned throughout San Diego County for June. We will continue to add those. We are seeing generally good success with those, averaging about 200 per event or location. Some of them are many more. But we will make a very concerted effort and push in June with our mobile sites, with our static sites, with other things there. And then beyond June, we will begin scaling back a lot of these vaccination efforts. Vaccine will still be available at hundreds of locations throughout San Diego County. And as we head into the fall, it will more resemble what it's like if you go to get a flu shot. You'll have pharmacies available, you'll have your healthcare providers available, and the county will maintain ongoing vaccination sites and ongoing testing sites to serve the needs of anyone in San Diego County, but it will, after June, become a little bit more limited. Next week, we expect to have more information for you on what vaccines and testing and other services will look like post-June, but we are continuing those efforts. Also want to remind we have our Youth Video Challenge. We are accepting submissions through June 14th. You go to coronavirus-sd.com/challenge. Our Health is Worth a Shot video and visual arts contest for the youth in San Diego County. And we are excited to announce a special vaccine partnership with the San Diego Padres. Starting on Thursday, June 3rd through June 30th, anyone getting vaccinated at a county-operated mobile vaccine site can enter to win a pair of Padre tickets. You'll have the opportunity to sign up during the 15-minute waiting period after your vaccine, and we will be raffling off 100 pairs of tickets to an upcoming Padres game. Entry to be eligible is for both first and second dose appointments, and for those ages 12 to 17, a parent must be present on site to enter their child into the drawing, but they will be eligible. In addition to auctioning off 100 pairs of tickets to a Padres games during this period, we will have 2 vaccination events in conjunction with the Padres at Petco Park's Gallagher Square. The first will be on Saturday, June 12th, between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. You can get vaccinated there at Petco Park's Gallagher Square. The first 1,000 people to be vaccinated will get a commemorative Padres vaccine T-shirt. The theme of the T-shirt is Hometown Heroes, and everyone who gets vaccinated at this event will also be entered into the drawing for the tickets. And then on Saturday, June 26th, we're going to do a second vaccination event with the Padres. Again, it will take place at Petco Park's Gallagher Square from noon to 4 p.m. Anyone can come to get vaccinated, and then those with tickets who are going to the game can get vaccinated between 4:30 and 7 p.m. It will be the same setup. The first 1,000 to get a vaccine will get a T-shirt and will be entered into the drawing. So again, continued progress with case numbers down, giving us 1 week in the yellow tier. Continued efforts around vaccinations with San Diego continuing to do very, very well in total, and a very focused effort in June to try and reach every San Diegan. And our message for San Diegans is the vaccine is free, it is safe, and we know it is effective, and we encourage all San Diegans, please avail yourself of one of the countless opportunities to get a free, safe, and effective vaccine. With that, let's jump into our charts for today. First one here, again, just shows the first week with that adjusted case rate at 1.7. Next week, we should have the numbers on Tuesday. Will tell us if that adjusted case rate remains below 2. Then we will be in a position where we are able to descend into the yellow tier. And I will briefly talk about what that will mean if it happens next week. Important to note, it has not happened yet. We will know next Tuesday. We will share that. It would go into effect next Wednesday. But if we do descend into the yellow tier on the next chart here, informal gatherings, again, can increase. Private events can increase. Indoor seated events can have increased capacity. And I just want to note that if you have a vaccine verification or testing verification, you can even go beyond these totals that are there. Outdoor seated live events can increase their capacity. Next chart. Gyms will go to 50%. Bars, indoor, 25% or 100 people. Restaurants, 50% with no number limit, just 50%. Increases for family entertainment centers, amusement parks, and water parks. Next chart is our vaccine dashboard, and what it gives you a little sense of here is the real progress we've made. We set an internal goal of 75% of eligible folks. Again, there's no trigger. June 15th, the tiers will go away, and we will carry forward and move. But for organizing purposes, we've had a goal of getting to that 75% number. You can see we're basically 93% of the way there with first doses, 73% of the way there with second doses. What that represents of the total population is right at 70% of eligible San Diegans. Those that are of the age to get the vaccine have received their first dose, and more than 55% of the eligible population has received their second dose or are fully vaccinated, and that is encouraging. Next, you see vaccine shipments. As expected, they're trending down. We have plenty of vaccine. There are plenty of vaccines available for anyone who would like to get them. We continue to receive vaccines, and we will continue to push to get those out as much as possible. Next, you see our case rate here. Again, really encouraging numbers there. Numbers are low. We continue to do more testing than the statewide average, which is what gave us the adjustment factor to bring us down. But these are very encouraging numbers. As there's fewer cases, as more people are vaccinated, there's less opportunity to spread. And we think this bodes well for the future moving forward, and certainly looking ahead to June 15th. Next chart is just our youth competition contest. Our Health is Worth a Shot. We encourage youth and young adults 12 to 24 to participate. The submission deadline goes until June 14th, and if you go to the website you see there on the screen, you will be able to get more information. Next, we're going to hear from Vice Chair Nora Vargas. We will get to your questions. Both Drs. Wooten and Shaw are here for any questions. But again, we're encouraged by the progress we're making on case rates, on vaccines, the potential progress next week's into the yellow tier, and then obviously looking ahead with great anticipation and excitement to June 15th, moving beyond the tiers. Next week, we'll probably share with you what life will look like from things we're doing from a public health standpoint post June 15th. And then June 15th, again, the retiring of the tiers. We're still waiting on some additional guidance from the state, from Cal OSHA and others on a few specific things surrounding June 15th, and we hope to get those over the course of the next week and be able to walk you through that in greater detail next week. But with that, let me turn it over to Vice Chair Vargas.
Thank you, Chair Fletcher. It's really exciting to know that we're inching closer to our vaccination of 75% of San Diego County residents, and I'm particularly happy to see that some of our demographic numbers have really changed up to date. So some of the numbers that I wanted to share with you is that 53.4% of the eligible Latino population has been vaccinated. 70.7% in the South region have actually been vaccinated in that community as well. Also, when you look at the 39 health equity zip codes and the Latino Hispanic population, 57.5% of the Latino population has been vaccinated. And in the South region, 70.7% of the Latino population has been vaccinated. And this is higher than any other regions in the county. Also important to mention that 33.8% of the eligible African American population has also been vaccinated in the county, and 60.4% of the eligible Asian American population has received their vaccine, as well as 92.9% of the Hawaiian and Pacific Islander population has also been vaccinated. And I wanted to make sure that we highlight this because health equity is such an important piece of the work that we've been doing under COVID and ensuring that people have access to vaccinations. And this is a real testament to the hard work that our county team, our community partners, and that all of you have been doing to ensure that everyone has access to a vaccine. In addition to that, I also wanted to highlight that last week we began a pilot program in collaboration with UC San Diego Health and the Mexican Consulate to vaccinate maquiladora workers from American-owned companies in Tijuana. And this is a very unique operation because they are actually, the companies in Tijuana are subsidizing the operations piece. As we know, vaccines are at no cost. And because we do have a good supply of vaccines, we were able to come up with this pilot program, and it's a great partnership. We started it on Monday, May 24th, and as of yesterday, we've been able to vaccinate over 6,447 workers. We have vaccinated between, I think it's 1,300 to 1,500 individuals each day, and the goal is to reach about 10,000 vaccines by next Monday when the program is scheduled to end. This binational effort is a great example to the international community and the strong partnerships between the U.S. and Mexico on our joint road to recovery. You know, we often say that borders health has no borders, and I think this is one of the perfect examples of the County of San Diego leading with a pilot program, so we're able to save lives, but are also ensuring our region is healthier and stronger. Still a lot of work to be done, and so I want to make sure that we continue to be safe and encourage those of you that have not received the vaccine to make sure that you find a location near you and get your vaccine as soon as possible. Es muy emocionante saber que estamos ya cerca de nuestra meta de vacunación del 75% de los residentes del Condado de San Diego. Nuestro equipo ya ha administrado 3.6 millones de dosis de vacunas en contra del virus. 70% de los elegibles han recibido por lo menos una vacuna. En cuanto a los números demográficos y equidad, hasta hoy es importante mencionar que el 53.6% de los latinos que son elegibles para recibir vacuna ya han sido vacunados y el 70.7% de los latinos en el sur del condado de San Diego ya han sido vacunados, y esta cifra es la más alta del condado. Eso es importante porque sabemos que la comunidad latina en el sur de San Diego fue directamente impactada por COVID. En cuanto a los códigos postales más impactados por la pandemia, el 57.5% ya tienen una vacuna. 33.8% de la comunidad elegible afroamericana ha sido vacunada, y también el 60% de la comunidad asiática ahora ya es elegible, también ha sido vacunada, y el 92.9% de la comunidad elegible hawaiana de Islas del Pacífico. Esta semana es la primera vez que estamos por debajo de los niveles necesarios para entrar al nivel amarillo en el sistema de prevención que estableció el Estado. Esto es prueba del excelente trabajo que nuestras comunidades, nuestro equipo y ustedes han hecho para reducir la tasa de infecciones en nuestra comunidad. También me da mucho gusto informar que iniciamos un programa piloto en colaboración con la Universidad de California San Diego Salud, el programa de salud que tienen, el Consulado de México en San Diego, para poder entregar vacunas a trabajadores de maquiladoras en Tijuana. Es un programa en donde los líderes de maquiladoras de Tijuana están pagando el costo de las operaciones, porque sabemos que las vacunas no tienen costo. Sin embargo, como tenemos suficientes vacunas, creamos este programa piloto en el cual la verdad me da muchísimo gusto compartir que ha sido todo un éxito. El 24 de mayo Iniciamos el 24 de mayo y hasta el día de ayer hemos proporcionado 6,447 vacunas para los trabajadores. Nuestro equipo de vacunación ha promedio de 1,300 a 1,500 al día y la meta son 10,000 vacunas antes del fin del programa del próximo lunes. Este programa binacional es muy importante porque demuestra la oportunidad de que el Condado de San Diego ha tenido de trabajar con nuestras comunidades y nos ayuda a construir una comunidad más fuerte y más saludable, porque ya que sabemos que la salud no tiene fronteras. Pero aún tenemos mucho trabajo que hacer para llegar a nuestra meta. Tenemos un concurso de arte para jóvenes y jóvenes adultos y hay diferentes maneras de participar y ganar premios en efectivo. Solo tiene que crear un dibujo con un video gráfico y mandarlo a la convocatoria antes del 14 de junio. Estamos muy orgullosos que las comunidades están más saludables. Por favor, continúe cuidándose y si no ha recibido su vacuna, vaya al centro de vacuna más cercano a usted y si conoce personas que no se han vacunado, pídales por favor que se vacunen porque ahora más que nunca ocupamos que nuestras comunidades estén saludables. Gracias.
All right, we're going to go to our texting questions.
This first text-in question is from Saddam with Univision, and he's requesting a response in Spanish. His first question is, what are the chances we would see if San Diego changes to yellow tier? And also, what are the changes for the county once the state lifts most COVID-related limitations on June 15th?
Sí, estamos ya programados que queremos que para la semana que entra podamos entrar a este nuevo nivel amarillo. Los cambios serían que pueden, por ejemplo, estar más de 100 personas cercanos, estar juntos. Los eventos privados pueden tener al máximo 200 personas. Los diferentes eventos, por ejemplo, 1,500 personas que están al 25%, cambiaría. Y también eventos que son en los espacios afuera serían a capacidad de 67% máximo. En cuanto, por ejemplo, los gimnasios, 50%, estaría 50%, que es diferente que lo que está ahorita. Incluye abrir los saunas y los diferentes oportunidades para que puedan tener acceso a los gimnasios. Los bars estarían 100% de personas pueden estar o 25% del pópulo. Los restaurantes el 50% ya no tendrían sin número límite y los centros de donde están las familias está al 50%, los parques estarían a 35% y los parques donde hay cualquier tipo de ejercicios de agua y eso serían al 40%. Entonces, estamos esperando que cambien. Lo único importante mencionar es que pues después del 15 de junio ya no va a existir los diferentes colores de fases, así que cambiaríamos al amarillo o llegaríamos al 15 de junio, que es cuando ya no va a existir este tipo de fases y sin embargo volvemos a nuestra etapa diferente. Gracias.
All right, next question.
This next text question is from Mike McKinnon with KUSI. Are vaccinated people protected from those who have not been vaccinated?
Dr. Shaw will address that.
Good afternoon. Thank you for that question. So post-vaccination infections, also known as vaccine breakthrough infections, it is an expected result. This is something that is well discussed on the CDC website. What we can tell you is that in San Diego County, this is of the 1.5 plus million fully vaccinated individuals, we've seen about 419 of these post-vaccination infections. This represents a very small number. It's 0.03% of those cases. So to answer the question, vaccine breakthrough infections, also known as post-vaccination infections, are an expected result.
All right, that concludes our questions for today. We appreciate it. We'll keep everyone posted on progress next week. And again, we eagerly look ahead 2 weeks to June 15th. Thanks.